Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We meet again in topic 4, the theory of individual behavior. This time, okay, we already in part 4, okay, the last part. Okay, so we have covered in part 1 to 3 on consumer behavior, on the budget line, on the consumer equilibrium, and also the applications of indifference curve analysis, choices by consumers. Okay, so in part 4, we are going to cover on applications, okay, but this time on the choices by workers and managers. And briefly, at the end of this part 4, relationship between indifference curve and demand curve. Okay, so in the part 3, okay, these are the choices by consumers that we have learn. Okay, buy one get one free, cash gift, in-kind gift certificate. Yeah, so for this choices by workers and managers, okay, we are going to look into these two models. Yeah, the first one is choices by workers, in which it is a simplified model of what we call as income leisure choices. All right, so the labor leisure choice model here. Okay, as you can see, how we want to show graphically on how actually a worker, because we are talking about how we the choices of workers, how a worker actually choose between labor and leisure. Yeah, so when we are working, yeah, leisure means you are not working. Okay, labor means you work and you get the income. Yeah, all right, so you can see that y-axis here is income per day, right? And this x-axis is leisure, yeah, per hours per day as well. Okay, leisure in hours, yeah, income is in dollar form. All right, so you see what does it mean here? Okay, this is a point where the income is maximum. Okay, maximum because this is 0, right? 0 means zero leisure, meaning you are working 24 hours. Okay, so that's why if you look at this x-axis, it must be always 24. Why? Because this denote hours per day, right? So 24 hours, everybody have 24 hours per day. Okay, if you are living on this planet Earth, it cannot be less, it cannot be more. It must always be 24. Yeah. All right. So, if you look at this 24, if you 24 hours leisure, okay, here your income is 0. Yeah. But here your leisure is 0, so this is your income maximum. Okay, so you can tell here, if we want to know how much is the income per hour, okay, then we just divide by 24 hours, right? So we get $10 per hour. Okay, so normally, right, if you look into this choice model, okay, we want like the consumer equilibrium, we talk about consumer equilibrium, but for this labor leisure choice model, we call this as worker equilibrium. Yeah, so similar, okay, the worker equilibrium will be at a point where the indifference curve tangent with the budget line. Yeah, but here we call this as earning line. Yeah, all right, so it cannot be at indifference curve 1 or 2 because it's not tangent. I mean, the slope between the two curve is not equal. Yeah, so similar like we have seen before, this indifference curve 3, okay, where it tangent with the line here is the point where this worker will get the highest level of satisfaction. Okay, so here what does it mean by 16? Yeah, this is where, right, 24 minus 16, this is leisure, not working. Yeah, 24 minus 16 is equal to 8. Yeah, so normally the normal working hours, okay, in most parts of the world is 8 hours per day. Okay, so meaning that this 16 hours is we call it as leisure. Okay, not that we don't do anything, okay, but we don't go to work, yeah, officially. All right, so when our working hours is 8, all right, so we have calculated just now that if we divide this by 24, you will get $10 per hour. So 8 multiplied by 10, this is where you get 80. Yeah, so at this equilibrium, this worker will earn $80 if he is working 8 hours. This is per day. Yeah, this is also per day. Right? So this is basically what labor leisure choice model is. Alright, so the choices also can be illustrated using this equation, right? In which in this example, E is the worker's total earning. Okay, but in this example or illustration, the worker, okay, the salary is $7 per hour, and this worker receive a fixed payment of 70. Yeah, alright, so this is where we get 70 here. Does not dependent on any leisure hours or working hours, yeah, because it is a fixed payment, yeah, and plus 7, 24 is the 24 hours per day just now, minus the leisure to get the working hour. Yeah, so if we actually extend this equation, what you will get is you can multiply 7 and 24, right? So you can get actually 70 plus 168, right, minus 7L. Okay, so this one 168 plus 70, right, this is where you get 238 minus 7L. Okay, so what does it mean here? If the leisure hours is 0, meaning you are working 24 hours, the maximum earning per day is $238. Minimum earning, however, is 70, yeah, because you have a fixed payment of 70. And this is if the leisure hours is 24. You are not working leisure 24 hours, you still get this 70. Okay, and the price of unit leisure is 7, meaning that if you sacrifice 1 hour working, all right, then you have to pay, or you have to sacrifice $7. Yeah. Okay, so this is if we illustrate the application using mathematical equation. Alright, so if we look into this exercise, actually this is not very difficult. Okay, in which the question asks what is the maximum total earning that worker can receive if she is restricted to a maximum of 12 hours. Okay, let's say that maximum that she can work is 12 hours per day, yeah, and receive fixed payment $110 per hour. So how we want to calculate this? Yeah, so the maximum that this worker can receive is if she works maximum 12 hours. Maximum 12 hours times 10 ringgit per hour, you get 120, and this worker get fixed of 100. So of course the maximum is 120 plus 100, you get 220. Yeah, so it's very easy, right? Okay, the second exercise, just to show you example, okay, on how this is being applied. Okay, now the wage is $8 per hour, and then the fixed payment of 100 per day, and he can use 24 hours per day. Okay, so what is the market rate of substitution method? Oh, okay, right. So what is the calculation here? Actually, you don't have to really calculate. Yeah, what is the market rate of substitution? Meaning that what is the trade rate, yeah, between leisure and working? Yeah, so of course, okay, the rate will be the wage that is being paid to this worker, because if you substitute um, your working with leisure, okay, so you are basically uh, sacrificing $8 that you should earn, to get that 1 hour of not working, right? Okay, so actually no calculation, you can look straightforward. The answer is actually the wage offered. Okay, we go to this exercise 3. This one is basically a structural question. Okay, this one we want to apply on the behavior of employees, in which if let's say we have these three alternative schemes. Okay, so the question is, which of the above scheme would yield the largest number of hours work? Okay, because we know that why the workers is being rewarded is because you want to motivate them. Okay, remember the one that we learned in chapter 1, the principle of regarding the worker last time, incentive, remember? Okay, so the uh, salary, okay, the income is basically incentive for the worker to work, to be more productive. Okay, how we want to analyze this? Okay, let us look at the first scheme, scheme A. Scheme A is where the hourly wage rate is $4 per hour. So I just want to show you here how we can draw actually the model just now. Okay, remember this one is the income. Okay, this is per day, and this is leisure, not working hour. So this is in hour, and this is in dollars. Alright, so an hourly wage rate of $4 per hour, meaning if we draw the earning line here, okay, remember that this one, the value must be 24 because this is hours. So 24 hours is definitely must be 24 hours per day. This is if you 24 hours on leisure, no working, so no income. Alright, so here, okay, is the maximum income that this person can earn given the wage rate $4 per hour. So this means that you are working 24 hours. So how we want to find the value here? If you are working 24 hours, you just multiply 24 times 4. So 24 times 4 is 96. So this is the vertical intercept. Okay, let us look if we want to show the equilibrium, the worker equilibrium. We just draw the indifference curve, and the tangent maybe that not very smooth. My drawing. Alright, so here it depends on the assumption of how many hours you are working. So let us take the normal 8 hours. So this is the worker equilibrium. Let's say that we work normal 8 hours. So what will be the value here? The value will be 8 hours multiplied by 4, right? Because 96 here is if you work 24 hours. Okay, so if you work 8 hours, work 8 hours. Okay, so 8 hours, multiplied by 4, alright, then this one, the value should be the T2. How about this one, right? This is basically, remember, 24, and this is the working hours, 8. So don't put 8 here. This is 24 minus 8, which is 16, right? Okay, yes, 16. So this is 16 to show that you have 16 hours leisure and 8 hours working. So this is if you talk about scheme A, where the hourly wage rate is for, meaning that this scheme you just pay per hour. That's all. Okay, but scheme B, a fixed hourly wage rate of 4 per hour. Okay, plus an overtime bonus of 4 for every hour work in excess of 8 hours. Okay, so let us calculate what is the maximum that this worker can earn given this scheme. Yeah. Alright, so if you look at this statement, okay, a fixed hourly wage of 4 hour, meaning that excess, okay, the normal working hours is 8 hours. Yeah, so 8 hours working, you get $4. Yeah, so 8 hours multiplied by 4, we have multiplied just now. Okay, we get 32. Yeah, but in excess of 8 hours, you will get double. Okay, this is basically overtime. Yeah, overtime bonus. Okay, because you work beyond the normal working hours. So what is the excess? How much is the excess hours? Okay, so you have 24 hours, you work 8 hours. So if you want to work 24 hours, then you have 16 hours that you can earn double. Double means because when we say overtime, okay, normally we get the normal and plus the 4 that is offered, meaning that the 16 hours should be multiplied by 8, right? So 16 multiplied by 8, right, you get 128. Okay, so plus the income during the normal hour, okay, then we get 160. Yeah, alright, I don't draw the curve yet. Yeah, I show you later, but this is the maximum that the worker can get given this what do you call it, given this scheme. Yeah, alright. The last scheme, the scheme C is this worker get a fixed salary, okay, of 40 per day plus 4 for each hour work. Yeah, so for each hour, so we want to again calculate the maximum. If this worker work 24 hours, of course you are not, right? But this one we want to get the vertical intercept value. All right, so if this worker work 24 hours, okay, 24 hours times 4, okay, 24 hours times 4 just now, sorry, 24 hours, okay, times 4, okay, we have calculated just now, it is 96. But now this worker have a fixed salary of 40 per day, so we need to plus another 40, then we get 136, the maximum. Yeah, alright, so here, okay, let us look how actually if we want to combine all this information in the graph. Okay, I just want you to see that I have do some calculation just now. I want you to understand where do we get this 160. Okay, where do we get this one 136, 96, okay, and so on. Yeah, so you see 96 is a scheme A just now. Yeah, the maximum that she can earn. 136 is scheme B. Yeah, scheme B where this worker have a fixed income, yeah, fixed allowance of 40, and 160 is when the company offer the maximum, the worker can get if the company offer a bonus just now, yeah, double the normal normal pay. Right, so I have shown you just now the first one, okay, when the first scheme where the worker is paid $4 per hour. Yeah, so this is I show you where if we assume that the worker work normal 8 hours, this is the income that this person will get. Right, so if you look at B is the scheme with overtime just now. Yeah, the scheme with overtime. So you see that they put here the dotted line because at this point the money is the same, the income is the same for the first 8 hours, but beyond 8 hours you see the dotted line show it is steeper, okay, because the worker get more pay, yeah, which is double. Okay, so you can see it's steeper, and then the maximum that he can get is 160. Yeah, so in this case you see that the worker is willing to work more hours. Yeah, because if he works more hours, he can earn more income. So let's say that, okay, if you see this is 12, meaning the worker leisure is only 12 hours, meaning that he works 24 hours, okay, in which 12 he works 12 hours, yeah, because this one is the leisure hour. 24 minus 12 is 12, and then minus 8 and 4 hours, meaning that this worker the overtime is 4 hours. Yeah, so that's why if you see at point B, the payment is 64, because how do you get 64? You get the normal pay for the first 8 hours, and then another 4 hours you get RM8, right? So this one, okay, this is not 8 and this is 4 actually, because the payment is $4, right? Okay, so for the first 8 hours, the salary is 4 times 8, which is 32. Okay, and then you get another 32, right? So 32 plus 32 is 64. Okay, that's why we get here 64. Yeah, at point B, this worker worked 12 hours, 8 hour normal hour, 4 hours overtime. Okay, so this is the earning. For point D, if you see, right, point D is where we have scheme C. Yeah, so you see, interestingly, scheme C here, you cannot put like this. If you put like this, meaning that you have more than 24 hours, right, per day, which is, yeah, maybe if you are in a different planet, okay, but actually you can't. Yeah, so that's why if you see it is vertical here, yeah, because this is fixed. Okay, fixed 40. If you read back the scheme C, the payment fixed allowance is 40. So the graph here maybe can be better lah, because this one should be higher than 32, right? But never mind. This one is 40. That's where it is vertical here, and then it is parallel again, yeah, with the normal one, yeah, because they offer only $8 per hour plus the fixed payment. Okay, so if the company give the fixed payment of 40 just now, you can see that the worker can be at a higher level at point D. Yeah, we will have a higher indifference curve, meaning higher satisfaction. But if you see at this number 17, meaning the worker is working only 7 hours. Okay, so more leisure. Alright, so how? Okay, is this how it should be, right? Because actually what we want is for the workers to be more productive. Okay, if they have more incentive, they should be what do you call it, contributing more. Okay, but here in this case, if we just assume working hour as productivity, and because of course you can say that, okay, I can finish within 5 hours, 7 hours. Okay, but again, ceteris paribus. So at point D, if you see, they got higher income, yeah, but then they are working lesser. Yeah, so if the question asks which of the above scheme would yield the largest number of hours work, right? Of course, the answer will be scheme B. Yeah, because scheme B, the workers work 12 hours. Okay, but if you offer scheme C, because you think that with that scheme the workers will work more, and actually it is wrong. Yeah, what happened is, because you can get more actually, okay, even more than those who are working 12 hours, but you are working lesser hour. Yeah, so okay, you can guess actually the best scheme will be B, yeah, to get the largest number of hours worked. Alright, okay, so that is choices by worker. So if we look at choices by managers, okay, decisions by managers, normally it is between output and profit. Yeah, do we want to produce more, or actually we want to have more profit? Yeah, remember, profit is different from revenues. Yeah. Okay, so let us see here. Okay, again, the choice for consumers. Okay, if I can recall, the choice for consumers is between two goods, good A and good B. Okay, the choice between the workers, the good become, you have to choose between working and get income and leisure. Yeah? For managers, the decisions is between profits and output. Okay, so here you can see that this is the curve of the firm profit, yeah, which is actually in consumer it is budget line, for workers it is earning line, but for managers we look at firm's profit, and this is the managers indifference curve. Okay, so you see that if, for example, the managers, right, want to what do you call it, get or target on the highest output, all right. Okay, the highest output will be at B. Yeah, if you look at this profit curve, okay, the managers, okay, intersect with this indifference curve, can be at point C or can be at this point. Okay, but if the managers actually wants to increase both profit and output, then a profit will be at point C, yeah, maximum profit, and Q will be here. You should produce here to get the maximum profit. But if the managers want to maximize output, okay, then you see the profit is zero. Yeah, the profit is zero, but then your output is yeah, okay, the highest here lah, if you look at this x-axis. Okay, so which one actually? Yeah, you want to increase the profit or you want to increase the output? Yeah, you cannot have both. Yeah, in this case. All right, so if we look into the second one, if in this case managers want to maximize output only, yeah, you target on output only, right? So again, okay, if you look at the indifference curve here becomes vertical because we want to show the intersection, yeah, just now, right? Becomes vertical because you want to target output, yeah, whether you produce at I0, I1, okay, I2, yeah. But again, okay, if you look into this indifference curve, the highest level of output is at I2, yeah, which is again at point B. Just now we have seen your profit will be 0, yeah, if the decisions of managers focus on maximizing output. Okay, so if the decisions of managers is to maximize profit only, yeah, so we can see that the indifference curve of managers become horizontal, in which, because we want to look at the profit, that's why it become horizontal. This is profit 1, this is profit 2, this is profit 3. Okay, so you can see that the highest profit here, okay, at indifference curve 2, okay, here the point C, you don't actually maximum the output, yeah, because if you want to go for highest output should be here, yeah, because this one is 0, right? This one is not the highest output, but what you get is the highest profit. Okay, so we have seen the first two just now, right? When you want to have both profit and output, okay, you want to go to output only, okay. Even if you look at maximizing output, okay, then your profit is 0. What actually we want for a business? Is it we want to produce as many as possible? Actually, our concern is to get the highest profit. Okay, of course we want to to get the highest profit, because later when we learn chapter 5, if you produce output, so many outputs, at one point actually your cost also will increase. Yeah, so this is where your profit will not be maximized, because we know that profit is revenue minus cost. Yeah, so this is where later in chapter 5 we try to find what is the quantity that will give the maximum profit to the managers. That's why in business we always said maximize profit maximization, yeah, instead of output maximization. Okay, the last one will be the relationship between indifference curve and demand curve, right? Just to understand why we learn this indifference curve. What is the relations with the demand, yeah, in economics? Okay, so here we learn in this chapter 4 about indifference curve, right? So this is good Y and good X, and this one is budget line, and this is the indifference curve. So let's say that this individual, the CE is at point A. Yeah. So if we correspond to individual demand curve, okay, this is point A where, right, this is good X at this price. Yeah. If, okay, we have seen if, right, price of good X decrease, okay, the budget line will rotate to the right. Yeah, we can have more of good X, right, and then we can have higher indifference curve. Okay, the consumer equilibrium will move from point A to point B. Okay, so you can see actually corresponding to the individual demand curve here. Okay, remember the law of demand, right? If the price decrease, it will be movement along the demand curve. Yeah, in which here, when price decrease, the quantity demanded for good X will increase from X1 to X2. So you can see actually at point B, X1 also, okay, increase to X2, yeah, compared to the initial point. Okay, so actually what is being explained here is actually indifference curve along with the price changes determine the individual demand curve. What explain the demand curve for individual here is actually the indifference curve of that person. Yeah. Okay, so this is individual demand. So how about the market demand? Yeah, because what we learn in chapter 2 is market demand, not individual demand. From individual demand, okay, you can see that it become a market demand. Okay, let us look, okay, at this illustration. This is price of good X at 60. Okay, nobody buy at this price, so the market also, the demand is 0. Yeah, let's say that the price become 40 here. Okay, and we have two individuals. We have two consumers, Mr. A and Mr. B. So at this price of 40, Mr. A purchased 10. Okay, but at similar price, Mr. B purchased 20. Yeah, because if we reflect to ourselves, yeah, we go to the shops, okay, with the same price that the seller is selling, we purchase at different quantities. Some of us purchase, some of us don't purchase. Some of us purchase 1 unit probably, but maybe other consumers purchase 2 or 3 units. So basically, as individual, we have different demand curve. Okay, but in a market, okay, a market is we have all the individuals become the market. Let's say this market only have Mr. A and Mr. B, right? So if Mr. A purchased 10, Mr. B purchased 20, okay, so the market actually is the summation A plus B. So the market demand curve, I mean the quantity demanded in the market will be 30. Okay, so you can see that the demand curve in the market as compared to the individual is flatter. We derive the market demand curve from individual demand curve. and individual demand curve is derived from he or her indifference curve. Yeah, so that is the relationship. So in conclusion, we learn in part 1, okay, what indifference curve is, and we look at the properties, okay, in which that properties reveals the consumer's preferences between bundles of goods, in which we have these 4 properties: completeness, more is better, diminishing rate of substitution, and transitivity. Okay, and as I mentioned just now, indifference curve along with the price changes determine the individual's demand curve, and from that individual demand curve, when we sum all the total, that is where we get the market demand that we have learned in chapter 2. Okay, so with this, congratulations, well done, you have complete chapter 4. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.